popular frozen food items, all at Price Break 86 savings. Stock up now and take advantage of special manufacturer's discount allowances. At P&C, when we get a break, you get a break. It's the Price Breaks 86 frozen food savings spree from P&C, the unbeatable price champion.
P&C, the price champion. We do it all.
I used to think that all successful people had fantastic social lives, but I couldn't find the time to meet the people I wanted to meet. Then I called Better Beginnings.
Better Beginnings is an introduction service for unattached adults. We offer discreet, confidential introductions between compatible singles, and we guarantee our service in writing.
So don't limit yourself. Call Better Beginnings and make your social life a success, too.
Better Beginnings, the introduction service that works. 455-5844.
Sunday, March 2nd at 8 p.m., the Cultural Resources Council's Jazz at the Center series presents two of the hottest jazz vocalists in the world today. Brazil's #1 jazz artist, the incomparable Tania Maria, and the man voted #1 jazz vocalist for the past 2 years by Downbeat magazine, the incredible Bobby McFerrin. An unbelievable night of jazz with Tania Maria and Bobby McFerrin, a double bill that's bound to blow the roof off the Civic Center. Sunday, March 2nd at 8 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at the Civic Center box office at all Ticketron outlets.
Give me five.
Jubilation in Manila. Filipinos rejoice. Marcos is out. He's left the Philippines. The shouts of Cory, Cory are meant for the new president, Corazon Aquino. Full coverage straight ahead on News Center 5.
Now, Bob Kirk, Deborah Keith, Susan Davies, and Mark Cooper on sports. This is News Center 5.
Good evening. Here's what's going on. Deposed Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos and more than 50 of his family and supporters are now at a U.S. Air Force base in Guam. The Pentagon says they were carried from the Philippines aboard 2 Air Force planes. It's still not known how long Marcos will stay in Guam, but it's reported that he may check into a hospital there. Earlier, thousands took to the streets in Manila to celebrate the ouster of Marcos. Many Filipinos called it Liberation Day. It ended days of turmoil following a disputed election between Marcos and Corazon Aquino, and 2 decades of increasingly dictatorial rule by Marcos. Tonight, the new president, Aquino, addressed her nation on television.
We are finally free, and we can be truly proud of the unprecedented way we achieved our freedom, with courage and with determination, and most important, in peace.
Aquino took office after Marcos resigned following the advice of the Reagan administration. Details on that from Jacqueline Adams.
Here we go. From the White House, Secretary of State Schultz announced the end of the Marcos regime and the beginning of the Aquino era.
The President is pleased with the peaceful transition to a new government of the Philippines. The United States extends recognition to this new government, headed by President Aquino.
U.S. helicopters ferried Marcos and 30 of his closest aides and family members from the presidential palace in Manila to Clark Air Base. Marcos decided to step down after President Reagan guaranteed his peace, his safety, and his dignity. Those assurances came in conversations with a man Marcos trusts, President Reagan's longtime friend, Nevada Senator Paul Laxalt. It was Laxalt who gave Marcos the unvarnished truth in 2 telephone conversations yesterday afternoon. Yes, President Reagan wanted him to resign. No, power sharing was impractical.
Then he asked me the gut question. He said, Senator, what do you think? Should I step down? And I said, Mr. President, I'm not bound by diplomatic restraints. So I'm talking only for myself. But I think you should cut and cut cleanly. And finally he came on and he says, yes, I'm here, Senator. He says, I'm so very, very disappointed.
Aboard a U.S. military aircraft, Marcos and his entourage are now en route to Guam. White House officials believe President Aquino has set up a centrist government with men of stature and experience in her cabinet. They're looking forward to working with her to effect the economic and military reforms that Ferdinand Marcos failed to achieve. Jacqueline Adams, CBS News, the White House.
The end of the Marcos regime brought thousands of people into the streets of Manila, a joyous celebration of the fact both the years of Marcos' rule were over and a new era is beginning. The demonstrators cheered and chanted the name of Corazon Aquino, the new president, who only a few weeks ago was called a long-shot underdog by the man she unseated. The Filipino community in the United States did not take to the streets, but in New York, many Filipinos gravitated to the consulate building.
I feel great. I think she can make it. Well, I'm very happy because we avoided bloodshed, and I'm very proud of the Filipino people over there for keeping their cool and for being sensible about the whole thing.
I think it's a great relief. I think it's a big change. It's also great that it's the people that's with her rather than just one political power group.
Blick.
What?
Because Marcos told us about everything in the Philippines.
Rob Armstrong, CBS News, New York.
After 4 hours of deliberating, an Onondaga County jury found 22-year-old John Webster guilty of murdering a Syracuse hairdresser. Carrie Peters reports.
It took 4 hours and 15 minutes before the 9-man, 3-woman jury convicted 22-year-old John Webster in connection with the stabbing death of 42-year-old Donald Kennan. The prosecution contended throughout the trial that Webster planned to rob Kennan and that he stabbed him after he found out he didn't have any money. Meanwhile, defense attorney Emil Rossi argued that Webster acted in self-defense after rejecting Kennan's sexual advances. The jury clearly felt it was not an act of self-defense and found Webster guilty on all 14 counts of the indictment, with top counts of second-degree murder and felony murder. The case appeared to be one of credibility. Did the jury believe the two key prosecution witnesses, or did they believe the testimony of defendant John Webster?
The jury did not ask to hear any testimony back. I think their feeling was that they understood all the testimony. There wasn't that much testimony really for them to digest, and it was a case of credibility.
Well, I would expect that they gave a lot of consideration to the fact that he had given different versions as to what had happened on that fateful evening, and when you start giving different versions as to what happens, certainly your credibility comes into issue.
Sentencing has been set for March 27th, at which time John Webster could be sentenced 25 years to life in prison. Terry Peters, News Center 5.
Friends of Thomas Bianco today testified that Bianco seemed depressed and disturbed in the months following Julie Munson's disappearance. Sheldon McCormick told the jury in the Bianco murder trial that Bianco seemed very depressed. McCormick says Bianco would start a sentence and wouldn't finish it. And McCormick says Bianco appeared to be in a trance of some sort. Marcy Rogers, Bianco's former girlfriend, said Bianco acted quiet, like something was on his mind. The defense hopes to show Bianco suffered from emotional problems that made him falsely claim to be responsible for Munson's death. There will be no trial tomorrow. It continues on Thursday.
James Hill was back in Onondaga County Court this afternoon. Bail was set at $25,000 for the 35-year-old Hill, who was arrested by Syracuse police over the weekend. Hill is accused with the February 1983 murder of Eddie Wilson of Syracuse. Another suspect was arrested in connection with the Wilson murder last Friday.
Other stories we're following for you tonight include more private wells in Scriba being tested for possible PCB contamination.
And the shuttle investigation continues. A rocket expert says he tried to stop the ill-fated launch of the Challenger.
To help you more.
Can you guess which truck is priced lower than the top 5 compact pickups in America? Okay, so you needed a hint. Well, now you can get that low-priced Isuzu for even less. Because Isuzu's offering 8.6% financing on all their 1986 pickups. And when Isuzus are selling with 8.6% financing, you'd better be ready to move fast. Don't miss the 8.6 financing available now at your local Isuzu dealer.
McDonald's new McDLT could be the best tasting lettuce and tomato hamburger ever. And that was just your first bite.
Come to Price Chopper for microwave magic and make your cooking time disappear. Microwave cooking is fast and easy, and Price Chopper has everything to make it even easier. Come save on microwave dishware and your favorite foods that cook up in minutes. If you don't have a microwave, you can buy a Samsung microwave oven for the special price of $99.99. Or sign up to win one of 57 Sharp Carousel microwaves. Look for the entry blanks in your circular or in your store. Don't miss microwave magic. Only at Price Chopper, more than a store.
In testimony before a presidential commission today, a rocket expert says he did all he could to stop the launch of the Challenger because of cold temperatures. But the engineer testified that his company approved the launch anyway. Robert Shackney reports.
The testimony before the Rogers Commission today was devastating. Before they were overruled by their own executives, engineers for Morton Fire Coal, builders of the shuttle solid rockets, had recommended that the flight of Shuttle Challenger be canceled because of the danger from cold temperatures. Among those who unsuccessfully tried to block the flight, Alan McDonald, Fire Coal's rocket project manager.
In fact, I made the direct statement that if anything happened to this launch, told them I sure wouldn't want to be the person that had to stand in front of a board of inquiry to explain why I launched this outside of the qualification of the solid rocket motor or any shuttle system.
Fire Coal's senior vice president at the rocket plant, Jerry Mason, admitted that he and 3 other executives made a management decision to overrule the engineers.
You testified before that you thought probably all the engineers were against the launch. Now you say you took a poll. You only polled the managers? You didn't ask the engineers how they felt after the review of the data? Did they express a change of mind? Did they say, well, I've changed my mind?
Not per se, no.
Mason said he recommended a launch because the data about the effects of cold temperature was inconclusive. But he admitted there had been pressure from NASA to keep to the launch schedule. That he acted after NASA officials had said they were appalled by an initial recommendation to delay. Robert Shackney, CBS News, Washington.
And tonight, sources say a second company involved in the manufacture of the shuttle lodged a pre-launch protest against the Challenger launch. The source says the president of Rockwell International Space Division, Rocco Petrone, expressed fears that ice might damage Challenger's fragile tiles.
Tonight, many rescue workers in Syracuse are better able to handle disasters if they should happen. That's good news because last week a tanker truck loaded with explosive cargo overturned. Then 15 railroad cars left the tracks. Today, Syracuse hosted a seminar to teach firefighters and other emergency personnel how to deal with dangerous situations.
Series of reports titled Disaster.
This is something that's coming down every day, like we had 2 misses last week, and it's somebody that everyone's aware of and everybody wants to gain knowledge on it. Our agenda today, we have a bus incident, we're having the Florida air crash.
Rescue workers say seminars like this one help them keep up with ever-changing technology.
The Oswego County Health Department conducted another round of water tests in a Scriba neighborhood today. This time, the water samples were taken from 2 homes to check for possible contamination of PCBs. 2 weeks ago, Lee Lockery was notified by the Department of Environmental Conservation not to drink the water in his home after high levels of PCBs were found. Lockery claims the contamination is due to a former neighboring salvage yard where transformers were stored and oil dumped on the ground. Neighbors are now concerned.
Well, it bothers you, yes. It makes you wonder sometimes, but what are you going to do? You're exposed to it, you're exposed to it.
Oswego County health officials will return tomorrow to take more samples from Empson's home.
Meanwhile, if your water comes from a private well, it could be contaminated with PCBs. The State Health Commission says as many as 57,000 private wells in the state may contain low levels of PCBs from leaking cooling oil and some submersible well pumps. But so far, David Axelrod says there's no imminent health threat. Although if you have your own well and you can smell or taste petroleum, both the pump and water should be checked. The unemployed in the Syracuse area will soon have a place to go for job training. The Central New York Private Industry Council wants to help the jobless upgrade their skills. Friday, the Worker Reemployment Center opens its doors in Syracuse. Mayor Tom Young says the center is already a success.
The center will it'll represent one-stop shopping, if you will, for those who are out of work, laid off. It'll be a place where they can go and they can learn about unemployment insurance. They'll be trained for the jobs of the future.
Young says the Private Industry Council is an example of the private and public sectors joining together to face a critical problem, Bob.
Next on News Center 5, we're closing in on zero. Susan Davies with a frigid 5 cash shortly.
First tonight's winning lottery numbers in the daily game, 625. The win for combo, 0306.
Datro, last night, 10 p.m.
I thought you said you had a headache.
I did. Then I took a couple of Datro.
When it's important to get rid of your headache and get on with your life, take Datro from Bristol Myers. 1,000 milligrams of medicine for your headache. No milligrams of medicine that could upset your stomach. Datro, extra strength for your headache. Extra gentle for your stomach.
The Cat VR cat dreams no ordinary dreams.
I've had enough, son. How about dinner?
Anything in mind?
Of course. Cat VR, monsieur?
Salmon and crab entree? Oh, rainbow trout entree.
For two. Excellent choice.
Your Cat VR, Thomas.
New Cat VR brand gourmet cat food for cats with discriminating taste. Like yours.
Wegmans brings you fish, delicious fresh fish. The best selections this side of Gloucester arriving daily. From the waters of the world comes the catch of the day. Enjoy fresh shark steaks, $3.97 a pound. And fresh from the Sea of Galilee, skinless St. Peter's fillets, $5.97 a pound. Choose from more than 50 varieties of fresh and frozen seafood for Lent at Wegmans, where every day you get our best.
I'm in love again.
Everyone's in love with Hannah and Her Sisters, the movie of a lifetime. 10 thumbs up. Hannah and Her Sisters is flat out wonderful. Full to the brim with humor, heartbreak, and ravishing romance. Quite simply a great film. Classic, hilarious, unforgettable, uproarious. Miss it at your peril. Hannah and Her Sisters, rated PG-13.
Starts Friday, February 28 at selected theaters. Check your newspaper for showtimes.
Waste Watcher Cola is made with 100% NutraSweet, and it saves you money for other things. Great taste, less expensive. Have one.
All right, we had ourselves a clear, sunny day, but if it stays clear at night, that means
It's going
the
to be
temperatures
cold.
go.
Get out the electric blanket.
Bob remembers his 4th grade weather class?
Yes, I do. It's a long time ago, Susan, but I do remember.
Not that long, Bob. Not that long. Let's take a look at today's statistics. Yes, it is going to get cold. Oh, it is going to get cold. Radiational cooling, they call it. And what it means is any warm air that's been accumulating during the day is going to go right up into the stratosphere. It's already gone. Today's highs and low. Well, our high was early this morning at 1 a.m. at 23 degrees. Our low, just an hour ago, 11 p.m., 14 degrees. As far as precipitation, snowfall, just a little over 1 1/3 inches of snow for the day. Currently out at Hancock Airport, it's mostly cloudy, 14 degrees. A falling barometer, 52% is our humidity. The winds are out of the north at 12 miles per hour, and the wind chill, 9 below, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. Around the viewing area tonight, a few flurries being spit out. 3 in Clear in Old Forge, 18 in Clear in Fulton, light snow in Cortland, 20 degrees in Sodus, where it's mostly cloudy, and 15 in Auburn, where it's only partly cloudy. Across the northeast, for the most part, it is clear. You can see a few light clouds in parts of central New York, extreme northeastern part. Heavy storm to the east and storms to the west, but we're in the clear right now. Across the country, here's what we have. Basically, just like last night, we have winter in the east and summer out west, and boy, it is summery. High pressure system out here kept it clear over most of the day and continues to keep it clear tonight. This is the frontal system, though, that separates the warm, rather the cold, from the warm. We have 44 cities and 11 states that set records today. 74 in Denver, 85 in Las Vegas, 95 in Yuma, Arizona. An all-time record February temperature of 76 degrees reported in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Very, very comfortable temperatures. And the upper air actually tells a story. Temperatures tell the story, too. We had the 70s, 80s, 90s down in here. Beautiful, beautiful temperatures. And look how this band then sweeps right down. Here's why. Jet stream is moving air off the Pacific down through the southwestern part of the country. So it's very, very beautiful through here where they're getting that mild Pacific air. But look where our air is coming from. It's coming from all the way up through the Alaska area, up through upstate New York. So it's very cold through there. Tomorrow morning, here's what we have coming. Whenever you have two frontal systems like that, you're going to have a storm, and that's the storm right here, but it's expected to stay to the south. We're going to see some clouds, even some flurries, but for the most part, it looks pretty good. If you're traveling in upstate New York tomorrow, expect partly sunny skies, 30s downstate, 15 up to the northeast. Here's the 5cast now. For tonight, it looks like this. We are going to be seeing some clouds, but few clouds, but for the most part, mainly clear and cold. Lows 5 to 10 degrees, northerly winds 5 to 15. Wednesday, some sunshine with a few flurries. Highs 20 to 25 degrees. And on Wednesday night, partly cloudy with a few more flurries, lows 10 to 15. Here comes the snow. By the time we get to Thursday, we're looking for a chance for snow. Highs 20 to 25 degrees. Friday, a chance for snow. Highs about 25 degrees. Clearing up on Saturday and Sunday with partly cloudy and cold conditions. Highs 25 to 30 degrees. That's a look at weather. Mark Cooper has sports, so stay with us.
Oregon and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Mount Hood means the best summer skiing in America. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer. Cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place. An Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
Man, it doesn't get any better than this.
Something important is happening at Chinatown Furniture. Chinatown's having a $1.5 million surplus furniture liquidation sale. The nation's top manufacturers and names you recognize, but names we're not allowed to mention are here. Store buyouts, factory closeouts, and production overruns at 30, 40, 50, even 60% off original prices. Now is the time to buy. Chinatown is the place to buy. Financing and fast delivery are available. It's Chinatown Surplus Furniture Liquidation Sale happening right now at Chinatown Solvay in North Syracuse.
Wendy's gives you a choice of fresh food and fresh savings.
Only Wendy's
gives you all this freshness and hot off the grill savings too.
Only Wendy's and Wendy's alone.
A 99-cent kids meal, a special meal in a special box with a prize. Now only 99 cents with salad or sandwich purchase.
Only Wendy's. Hometown markets mean more saving power.
Shop Hometown Markets this week and save on Northern Bath Tissue. The 4-roll pack just 99 cents. Stock up on Cycle dog food and 14-ounce cans get 3 for only $1. Enjoy Joseph's Cream Valley Ice Cream, the half-gallon carton, just $1.69. And Jenny O Turkey Breast, 4 through 7 pound average, only $1.69 a pound.
Co-op buying power. Hometown Markets.
All right, now, if this were 1969 or 1973, tonight's Celtics-Knicks game would have been great. But it is 1986.
Don't you feel sorry for all those people who rushed out after Patrick Ewing, came to New York in the lottery, bought the season tickets, and now they're sitting there and, boy, what a waste of money that was. The Knicks suffered their 39th loss of the season tonight. Larry Bird led the Celtics to a 17-point win over New York. Now, the good news for the Knicks was the return of Patrick Ewing to the lineup. He scored 16 tonight after an 8-game layoff. But Bird was awesome for Boston. Watch this feed to Bill Walton. Bird, another triple-double tonight, 24 points, 18 rebounds, 13 assists. It was all going Boston's way. Watch this one. Walton's pass goes off the hand of Bob Thornton. Let's look at it again. And it goes straight up and back through the net. That's how it went for the Knicks tonight. Boston won it 91 to 74 over the Knicks. Other NBA scores, the Sixers beat Chicago tonight 122-108. Indiana over Washington by 13. It was Milwaukee beating the Clippers 114 to 99. A couple of games still going on, even though we're a half hour late. Late in the fourth quarter, Utah leading Houston by 3. And also in the fourth quarter, Denver leading Phoenix by 16 points. Golden State beat New Jersey tonight, 116 to 109. And speaking of the Nets, they're going to have to do without guard Michael Ray Richardson. The NBA banned Richardson from the league play forever after he tested positive for cocaine use. This is Richardson's third offense, and under the NBA guidelines, the ban is automatic, but he may appeal for reinstatement in 2 years. On the college courts tonight, 12th-ranked Notre Dame knocked off rival independent from the Midwest, DePaul. Watch the first half action here. David Rivers makes this play while on his back to Donald Royal to Joe Price for the reverse layup. Then Royal was a little more conventional later on, connects on a jumper from the paint. He finished with a career-high 26 points. The Irish go the other way here after Rod Strickland's miss. Dave Rivers beats Kevin Holmes to the ball here. Great save to Mark Stevenson for the jam. Notre Dame wins it 70-59. Another top 20 game. The only other top 20 game had Navy beating Richmond 85-72. And in the Big East, Villanova went out of the conference to handle Monmouth 85-52. What a stunner that one was. Couple of games, actually a number of quarterfinal games in the Section 3 girls tournament tonight. Mark Harmon reports on Liverpool's rout of Fayetteville Manlius.
Liverpool in white hosted the green-clad FM Hornets, and the Lady Warriors took charge from the opening tip-off. Liverpool ran off the first 16 points of the ball game and never looked back in this one, posting a 54-30 victory. Sharon Dwyer led the way for Liverpool, hitting a game-high 20 points, and Sherry Krause added 15. For the Lady Hornets, Joy Felton led the way with 12 points as Liverpool wins it 54-30.
Girls did a nice job. They came out early and hit about 4 or 5 straight shots in a row and kind of put things into a perspective for us to get up and down the court.
Mark Harmon, News Center 5 Sports.
Here are some other scores from the Section 3 tournament quarterfinal action. Class A ESM won by 5 over Henniger tonight, 45-40. In Class B, Bishop Grimes was a winner, 49-41 over West Hill. J.D. also was a winner over Bishop Ludden. And in Class C1, Jordan Elbridge was a winner and Howe, 30 points over Indian River tonight, 57-27. The San Diego Padres made Steve Boros their new manager today. Boros will replace Dick Williams, who resigned from that post yesterday. Finally tied in the National Hockey League, the Rangers ran into a buzzsaw in Toronto tonight. New York had things going its way for a while. Pierre LaRouche will get stopped here, but watch Kelly Miller. He'll be there to knock this puck out of the air into the net, and the Rangers were in control. Rangers scored 3 goals in 2 periods here. Patrick scoring here by the end of the second, but by the end of the second, Toronto had pulled ahead 4-3. Wendell Clark struck there. Toronto skated past the Rangers tonight 7-3. A light night in the NHL, just 3 other games going on. Boston beat Quebec 7-4. All are final now. In overtime, the Capitals beat Detroit 4-3, and Calgary knocked off St. Louis 4-1. And of course, tomorrow night, Bob, we've got a late game starting 9:30 on a competing station. Syracuse will be going up against St. John's for the Big East regular season title. That'll be a very exciting game to watch.
Should be. Okay. Thanks, Mark. Some colleges get guest speakers. A lucky few get superstars. But the colleges of Santa Fe in New Mexico, well, that college has them all beat. That's if you believe the school's calendar of events. On March 29th, it says Dylan Thomas will read his poetry. If he appears, it'll be the personal appearance of the century. Dylan Thomas died in 1953. Apparently, he did not go gentle into that good night.
So you think he'll show up?
If he does, we've got a story.
That's right. That's right. Well, that's the news. I'm Deborah Keith.
I'm Bob Kirk. Stay tuned next, if you can, if you're up this late, for a special CBS News special report on this historic day in the Philippines. Now, for all of us who work the late night news watch here at your news center, good night.
In Italy, they learned long ago that to make the perfect Italian pie, you must start with the perfect recipe. Just the right blend of meats, cheeses, and vegetables. At Pizza Hut, we've discovered such a recipe. We call it Priazzo Roma. Perhaps the perfect Priazzo Italian pie. Come, judge for yourself.
Finally, a good, strong cup of coffee that's also incredibly smooth. New Marigore Bowl from Taster's Choice. It begins with the world's fullest flavored gourmet coffee beans, roasted long, roasted dark, until they're ready to burst with rich coffee flavor. For a strong, smooth cup of coffee, new Marigore Bold and Marigore Bold Naturally Decaffeinated. Two bold new reasons why the choice for taste is Taster's Choice.
Rainbow Rent to Own. We're your rental headquarters in Syracuse for appliances, TVs, and furniture. Call today, 437-6662, or see our new showroom in the Shop City Mall. It's so easy at Rainbow. There's no credit check, no down payment, no finance charge. For fast, free delivery, call 437-6662.
Where your dreams come true. Rainbow Rent to Own.
Mr. Canasano, which do you think tastes even more Italian? The ragu you created in 1953 or your current Canasano?
Canasano. As I got older, I got better.
Sunday, March 2nd at 8 p.m., the Cultural Resources Council's Jazz at the Center series presents two of the hottest jazz vocalists in the world today. Brazil's #1 jazz artist, the incomparable Tanya Maria, and the man voted #1 jazz vocalist for the past 2 years by Downbeat magazine, the incredible Bobby McFerrin. An unbelievable night of jazz with Tanya Maria and Bobby McFerrin. A double bill that's bound to blow the roof off the Civic Center. Sunday, March 2nd at 8 p.m. Tickets are